I hope that was worth the effort. I woke up way too late today, and I got started on the stream stuff, and I was just like, oh fuck, I should have gotten up earlier. So much happened this week. There's no way to like comfortably do enough prep, but oh well. I did get up early the day that I guess I should explain just to make sure everyone knows because some people are not going to be watching this; they're going to be listening. So for those listening, in 2 years from now, Ethan Ralph went to Portugal, as I discussed on my last stream, and as I warned him uh, months ago, in November even. I remember it was like November. He was talking about his court date coming up in January, early January, just a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about leaving to Mexico because Vickers is fucking with me in the court, and that's their plan now." And I'm thinking about leaving the U.S. I'm like, "Don't do it, don't do it." Like I can get by outside the U.S. I can go to much poorer countries than Ethan Ralph outside the U.S. Uh, and I'll get by because I don't fuck with locals. You know, like Portugal is one of the easiest going countries in the entire world. To get fucked with in Portugal is a accomplishment. You have to be looking for trouble, and Ralph usually is. But in the U.S., he kind of manages to avoid repercussions because the U. I think the U.S. is just really pacifistic at this point. We're all mellow. We're all beaten down. We're not really looking for trouble. But you go fuck with Moroccans in Portugal, you're gonna get beat up. What do you expect? I remember when I came to Serbia, I was driving from the airport to my apartment, and the taxi driver asked me like, "Oh, you're young and you speak English. Where are you from?" And I assumed he was expecting like, "Oh, I'm from Canada. I'm from the United Kingdom. I'm from Australia." Uh, any place other than I'm from the United States. Because if you don't know, Serbia in living memory, if you're my age, you remember being a child, like 6 or 7, and having United States pilots bombing your city. Like, I remember when I was 7, I was changing schools, and that was the most like concerning thing in my life. People in Serbia at the time were wondering where their food was going to come from because their house just got demolished. So the taxi driver takes me down this road, and he shows like, oh, that building had to be rebuilt because it was demolished, and that building is still in ruins to this day. They never figured out what to do with it. And it's just like you can't go to a country like that and be Ethan Ralph because you will die. You will literally die. And he didn't believe me. Um, so he that day, I say I woke up late today, but on the day he got beat up, I woke up at 8. I have an emergency line in case something happens, and I really need to get up early to deal with something. Someone decided to take it upon themselves to use that line to notify me that Ethan Ralph has gotten his fucking face smashed. And let's put that up on the screen. What that looks like. Because it is amazing to me that Ralph did not have the foresight to think. Well, I say it's amazing to me, but it's pretty par for the course for Ralph that he would put this up there voluntarily. He would think, yeah, I need to show people this, and the reason why is in part because of his tweet about it. The way he constructed him getting his ass kicked is quite remarkable, and I don't know how he expected people to believe this. So let me just show you the tweet chain. Actually, let's see, Firefox. Actually, we have break. I think we have breaking news right now as I'm sitting here. I guess my gloat, my little gloat, stirred him out of his stupor. Where the fuck is my Firefox at? Oh, there. Okay, that is working. Um, I'll read this first, and then I'll look at the breaking news. Ralph tweeted on Wednesday, "Well, I've definitely got to experience um Portugal in a way I never thought I would. What is it with me in 4-on-1 fights, lol? And forgive my hair, but there's not a stylist on call here in hospital, crying laughing. As for what happened, it's a bit blurry, but some guy tried to rob me. I chased him down and then fought him and his friends by myself. I also kept fighting well past the point that would be considered normal. Don't do this, lol. Anyway, might be delayed coming home by 1 or 2 days. Shout out to the hospital. Very good care here. Had a lot of fun on my trip, but this obviously puts it in a bit of a damper. Some certain persuasion dude just randomly robbed me, though. It happens. I just wanted to keep people updated on it all, since it will affect my schedule. So he really thought that he will put this, like, I guess he wanted to get ahead of it, because if he just, like, in his mind, right, he's probably thinking, if I don't talk about it and I just start missing my streams, then people will think, oh, something happened to him. And oh jeez, and then they'll start making up crazy rumors. So let me get ahead of it and just say, like, some brown people, you know how they are. They kicked my ass, but don't worry, I didn't go down like a bitch or anything. I summoned all my Super Saiyan strength. I progressed to Super Saiyan 2 on the spot, and it took 4 of their friends to hold me down and take my man purse. Which, by the way, is gone. His man purse that we all made fun of him for. He now has a good reason not to wear it anymore because they apparently stole it, and I'll get to that in a second. Here's the breaking news, by the way. He's been silent for a while, but he finally broke his silence to say this. It's just a picture of him. I think he was scheduled for surgery today. He fractured his orbital bone, which is pretty intense. I guess he thinks he's really cool. Isn't this the guy that, like, they use in those videos of, like, the simp getting ignored by the e-girl? Wow, he looks awful. That's amazing. It's hard to explain. Like, if you're just listening, it's hard to explain. It's Ethan Ralph, but his face looks like a bowling ball, and there's a scar, like what looks like a scar. I guess they cauterize it. I don't know. I've never seen a scar heal up so fast, so that is a scar. But it's, like, all the way around his face. It goes from, like, his forehead around his orbital to his chin, it looks like. It's all the way around. It's crazy. His eyes are both black. He's got what looks like a thing you use to wrap a bread, like a plastic bread bag together, like through his nostril, like a bull ring. It's very strange. I don't know what that is. Oh, maybe it's stitching, because he has stitching that looks kind of similar across his eye. Yeah, he looks like shit. Congratulations. Now, he earned these scars, of course, by fighting 4-on-1. Which nobody believes. Like, he posts this, and then the first thing everyone thinks is there's no way. Because number one, he starts off his story by saying, "What is it with me in 4-on-1 fights?" And then, oh no, I mean, I chased him. Like, bro, we've listened to you go to, like, museums with Faith. You can't walk from your car to a picture in the gallery without winding yourself. There's no fucking way you're going to be chasing after someone down the street. Like, you were bitching about the hills in Portugal. You went to a country that is mountainous, and you can't walk up the hills of Lisbon without winding yourself and complaining on Twitter. So I don't believe for a second that you're chasing anyone anywhere. And then he gets into a 4-on-1 fight. And I mean, I get, only because of the amount of damage do I believe that there's more than one person, unless he really just, like, pissed off one person, which is the discussion that people are having. It's like, did he really? I mean, he lost his man purse, we know this, but he didn't lose his passport, he didn't lose his phone, and there's some debate over why a mugger might not take a phone and passport. But the popular theories are that he pissed someone off. His last pictures were him like celebrating a wedding with Moroccan newlyweds who had traveled up to Portugal to enjoy their honeymoon together. And he was there at the bar with them, and that was his last tweet. So who knows? Maybe he made a move on the newlyweds, and and the guy wasn't going to have that, so he beat the fuck out of them. And there's so many things about this which are so funny, to the point where everybody has joined in making fun of Ralph. Gator's making fun of Ralph. Nicker Kid is making fun of Ralph. Even Jim has finally broken the silence and is making fun of Ralph. He paid $10 to send a message to Flamenco making fun of Ralph. And he's been tweeting about it. So it's like everybody has finally said, okay, this is, like, a normal person would lie and just say, I have COVID. I can't podcast because my voice is fucked up, and that's your excuse. And then you're stuck in Portugal, and you can just say, well, I can't fly because I have COVID. And people might doubt that, but they don't have any evidence. Instead, this idiot is like, uh, he puts this out there, and it's really baffling why. Except that you just brush it off as like this is the decision making of a lolcow. This is someone who doesn't think things through. Maybe he was suffering from a concussion, but then I don't know. He doesn't learn his lesson. He puts out another one. He looks worse for different reasons. In this, it looks like I don't know why his like face is so round. Did they like reconstruct his fucking skull? Why is that like a that scar right there looks like a Star of David carved into his into his skin. What is why does he look so bad, Chad? Oh, it's the swelling from the surgery. Okay. Really just incredible. Like, okay, you didn't learn from the last one that people find this really funny. Nobody's on your side. Everyone thinks that you're a retard. Even Pantsu, who was usually like, yes, my Kang, he's so infallible. Everything he does is so macho manly. Like, her statement on this was like, Ralph is going for surgery tomorrow, and his ass got kicked, and we don't know how long he'll be there because he has to heal. Because if he goes on a plane after getting his skull surgically reconstructed, he could bleed into his brain and die. I'm just like completely fucking cold about it, and I'm just thinking like, okay, there, like I said, many different reasons why it's funny, but okay, Dick Masterson's not going to Portugal, right? He bailed out last second, and he even said something really funny, like, oh, do I not have this picked up? He said something like, I'm so glad I faked my injury to get out of going to Portugal with you, which I think is actually probably true. I don't think he actually broke his ankle. I can imagine him lying just to get out of going to Portugal. But it's like, okay, well, now you're going to Portugal alone. And like when I travel, I know people in the area. Like I'm set up with accommodations by people who know me from whatever. Like I went to the Philippines. I knew Frederick there. I knew someone in Ukraine. I know someone in Serbia. I know someone in like his entire family in Serbia. Like it's very weird for a grown person to go to a tourist trap all by themselves. Is what I'm saying. And it would be a fantastic opportunity to take your fiance who is pregnant out on like a honeymoon type thing, like those nice people from Morocco did. They went out to Portugal to enjoy Lisbon together as newlyweds. Ralph could have done that, but instead he goes alone, and he's easy bait for man purse snatchers, and he gets his ass kicked. And she's just like, yeah, what a fucking idiot, because now she's alone for a couple of weeks at least, unless he decides to ignore advice and take a flight back home. And since he's in the hospital, in ICU probably, post-op, he might even get COVID just from being in the hospital. And then he might die. My man might actually fucking die if he gets COVID because he's morbidly obese. He has a weak heart already. He's taking nitroglycerin to control his fucking heart from exploding. And he could literally die from COVID. And that would be pretty funny, but I would lose my Ralph. What am I going to stream about if this fat idiot dies because of a series of his own bad decisions? He's a prime candidate for the vaccine, by the way. I'm not anti-vax. I'm just saying, like, give it to people who actually need it, like Ralph, because he's already in bad health. You send a strong breeze at this guy, he's going to be taking a tumble. He's not going to get back up from that either. So I don't know. Who knows, man? It's like, what an idiot. And it's even funnier. It's even funnier, more than just like, okay, you go overseas and something bad happens to you. Like, okay, shit happens, right? But it's funnier why he went there at all. He went there to own Andy Worski. So even in like a best case scenario, he goes to Portugal, he has fun, he comes home and says, I had fun in Portugal. Here's all the food I ate. Here's all the salted fish I ate. Here's all the fried potatoes I ate in Portugal. Aren't you owned, Andy Worski? Andy Worski would just say, no, not at all. But then it's like he goes there and he gets his fucking face smashed in. How do you, like, it's a no, like, okay, you can't win that gamble to begin with because it's stupid. And it would be very hard to lose it. But he found the one way to actually own himself doing something that doesn't make any fucking sense like this. It's actually incredible. And shame on all of you who said Ralph should totally go to jail. That would be the funniest thing that could ever possibly happen to Ralph, because I told you that you were wrong, that it would be funnier if he stayed out of prison, because what happens when he stays out of prison? What happens every time that Ralph wins anything? He gets a massive ego. His ego swells up just like his face has from getting punched. And he makes extremely stupid, arrogant decisions that fuck him every single time, and it's completely come to fruition. And now, on top of it, everything else, just the logistics. Okay, he's in Portugal. He's gonna have to find accommodations for at least a few weeks, and before, like, he's going to be, they don't treat people for free in Portugal if you're not Portuguese or from a country that has a reciprocal healthcare system with Portugal. Like, the UK and Portugal have a thing where Portuguese people and UK people will pay for each other's healthcare if they happen to get injured overseas. US has no such thing. So he's going to get billed for that. He's definitely going to, like, renege on that bill and just flee the country and leave, Portugal owing however much money. But then he's going to have to pay for accommodations while out of the hospital and recovering before he can get on a plane. And the estimates range from, like, I think, like 40% of surgeons say you can fly immediately after the surgery, but then like 40% say like 1 to 4 weeks. And if he does stay like the entire 4 weeks, let's say he decides to stay for 2 weeks because he wants to recover and he doesn't want his brain to explode. And then he gets COVID and he's stuck there another 2 weeks. Well, 4 weeks from now, in February 28th, he has a court hearing for the harassment charges, 2 harassment charges he's facing in Northern California against the Vickers. Each of them have like their own harassment charge against him and a restraining order violation against him. And that's pending in California on the 28th. So what happens, like, I assume he can make it by Zoom, but the judge is going to think like, okay, so you had this court date coming up and you went to Portugal, and there's this clip of you saying that you're a flight risk and that you would leave the country if the courts were coming after you. Like, why should I not consider this to be something that you did intentionally? Why should I believe your story that a bunch of Portuguese people kicked your ass? So I don't know. Like, I don't want to bet on the court. Like, that's a long shot, right? Like, the court thing is like a long shot. I'll acknowledge that, but it's a possibility. It's one of those things that's like, this is now a concern. You thought you were going there for a week to enjoy the sights or whatever the fuck, to own Andy Worski, to eat all the salted fish in the world and own Andy Worski. And now you're gonna, like, this. I don't know if I assume the hospital can't really do anything to collect the debt. I doubt they can like send the bill over to the U.S. and have the IRS enforce it or anything. So I think he'll just completely get away scot-free with not paying the Portuguese government the thousands of dollars that he owes them for saving his life, basically. But I mean, and he's going to be losing money because he can't stream the entire time. And like, this should be the wake-up call to Gator. It's like, bro, this guy's an idiot. But he still has people who like support him. And the guy that's like a dog avatar on Twitter, Orwell and Good, he's like gives Ralph solidarity for getting his ass kicked by Moroccans too. It's like, why are they like, when is enough? When is he so fucking stupid that you're gonna realize that this guy is actually just a retard and he's not like a savior of the white race or a tradcath or whatever? If they harvested his organs, they would only get half their value. Who the fuck wants Ralph's organs? Like, do any of them work? His kidneys are shot. His liver's fatty. His heart's bad. He smokes, so his lungs are shitty. His brain is the worst part of him. I guess his balls work well enough, but then you're shooting Ralph a seed, and that's worth absolutely nothing to a normal person. What organ are you taking from him? He can't. You could harvest his prostate or his sphincter. He can't even keep shit inside of him. He sharts himself when he's just sitting around. What organ are you gonna extract from this motherfucker and make good use of? Maybe his skin. There's enough gunt skin to go around to like help like 1,000 burn victims. But then you have to make a quality judgment call. Is the gunt skin worse than burn scar tissue? This is a serious practical question that you would have to ask yourself before accepting this organ donation from Ethan Ralph. Really, really gnarly. The pig eyes. I mean, look at his eyes. His eyes are fucked. What's he seeing out of that? He's not seeing anything. So the bag, I guess, is the next point here. Oh, but by the way, someone made a good point before I move off the surgery stuff. If you look at his lips are really thin. And over here too, his lips are super thin, and he's not opening his mouth at all. People are speculating that he's lost his teeth. And this guy made a good post that I will read. Piss Trooper says, if Ralph is going for surgery, I think it's probably for his jaw. They can't really do anything surgically for an orbital fracture unless it's fucked up all the way his eye sits, like within the skull. The fact that his joke mentioned his double chin, because I think Pantsu says, like on the prior page, my man's is going for surgery in the morning, and he says, I hope they can take my double chin while they're working on my face, haha. So he's referencing that. It makes sense. Like, if he's working on the jaw, I guess they could take out the fat too. The fact they mentioned double chin leads some credence to the theory. So if they'll maybe they'll have to wire his trap shut for a month. He'll be streaming using text to speech. I don't know if that came like his. I mean, can you see the wires if they wire? I guess not, right? It's on the inside. So he might he might have no mouth and must scream at this very moment, and he just can't see it. That would be funny. Like if they had to wire his jaw shut, that would be pretty fucking funny. Just for the theatric value of it. Anyways, so about the bag. That's the court date on the 28th. So on this website called olx.pt, which from what I understand is like a Portuguese Craigslist, this bag showed up for sale, and it's Giorgio Armani, and that's the hands of a Moorish man, and it looks just like Ralph's bag, and it was for sale for 300 euros, and it even says something in the description, like, here's the description. It says, found, not stolen, original Giorgino Armani bag in good condition, new cost 690 euros, which is about right because he paid like $900 for it originally. So I think this is actually his bag because it came up for sale the day after Ralph got his ass beat. And I think, yeah, he's wearing it there, so they're comparing the straps and shit of the bag and the bag in the pictures. And I think someone even contacted him and said, like, is this Ralph's bag? And he said, yeah, it actually is. I found it, though. I didn't beat his ass. And now has put it on, like, a Portuguese auction site, hoping to get closer to the original value because people are going to buy this fucking bag just to dab on Ralph. Just so you know, if you buy something thinking that it's stolen, it's probably illegal, and you might be forced, based on your jurisdiction, to give that bag back to Ralph because you knew it was stolen goods. So I don't want to opine if I think that this is an original Ralphio Armani stolen bag, but if for whatever reason you were in contact with this person, and I'm not encouraging that you contact this Moorish man, he's a violent criminal, as we've established. I would never encourage anything like this. But if you were in talks with him, maybe also encourage him to get surveillance footage of Ralph getting his ass kicked, because that is worth way more than some gay ass purse. Okay, just saying that that might be out there. This might have happened on a street next to a gas station or something that has surveillance footage pointed outward towards the street, and if he knew where this happened, he might happen to know who would have video of it, and he could say, like, oh, I'm a journalist and I'm looking for footage of this attack, right? And I'm just saying, people might pay for that. And this is the guy, by the way. He looks like a crackhead. So like I said, I would never encourage anyone to contact this fucking crackhead who's selling stolen purses, man purses, to pay for his horrific crack addiction. But there you go. Oh, and like I said, Jim clipped this, and I found this very funny. Ralph called into the Dick show just before the attack. So he's just kind of juxtaposes what Ralph was saying about his trip versus his condition now.
Ralph, are you there?
What's up, man? Can you hear me? How do I
you sound fantastic.
What's up, Ralph? How you doing?
You're making me sick
I'm doing
with
great.
jealousy.
I'm doing great, man. You're chopping up a little bit, so I was trying to see if I could hear you, but it sounds okay now.
Cool.
Am I still good?
Yeah, you're good.
You sound great.
Okay.
How's the trip been so far? Please say horrible.
Actually, it's been awesome.
Ralph, are you there?
I was actually confused at first. I thought that this happened after he got his teeth kicked in, and then took a second to realize, oh wait, this is simply an edit. Okay, so that's where we're at with the Ralph stuff. I'll read chat for a bit because I don't know. I feel weird. I feel weird thinking like, oh, this is karma, because it's like, do I as a flesh bag, do I know what is and is not just chat? Do I have that capacity? I will say what makes me believe that it is karma, though I cannot say for sure that it is karma. Okay, I think that, like I've said before, the only thing that Ralph cares about at this point in time, he does not care about his kids, he doesn't care about May, he doesn't care about his family, he doesn't care about any person in his life whatsoever. As long as he can do his shitty fucking podcast and make enough money to live comfortably, he is winning. And he can spend any bullshit that happens, he can spend him having a slap fight with a bunch of trannies and a mentally handicapped woman at their house as a win, because it's him standing up for what he is and shit. He can spend pleading guilty to a sex crime as a win, because man, I get out no time whatsoever. And who cares about his record, right? He's not applying for a fucking job. Nobody cares. He's not a registered sex offender, so he's not lost any freedom or privileges. He walks, as far as he's concerned, as for all intents and purposes, that is what happened. So that's a win. Like, all this shit's a win. But and if he had just gotten his ass kicked, that would also be a win, because he would spend it as some macho shit. Like, I went to Portugal and there are all these people of certain colors from the Moors, you know what I mean, saying shit about Jesus. They were insulting Jesus. They were saying that Muhammad is based and red-pilled and Jesus is a Jew. So I stood up and I killed like 8 of them, and their bodies were stacked on top of each other. But then, they got on me. They got on me 4 at once, and I went down. But luckily, I kicked them all in the face, and I got away with only some minor bruises. But no, this is like, his face is like fucked up. He might be missing teeth. His jaw could be wired shut, and he's stuck in Portugal at his own expense for several weeks now. Unless he decides to take the risk, which could possibly kill him by flying with his skull not properly adhered together. This is something that he really, really cannot spin as a win. He can only laugh at it, like the pill stream, and it remains to be seen if he has the intelligence to do that. But it'll be something that always haunts him, like the Gunt. He could never laugh at the Gunt, the original Gunt picture. That Gunt picture literally ruined him. I feel like, actually, I was thinking about this, and I realized that a lot of people might not even know. Oh, okay, let's do a poll. I like my polls, right? Will Ralph be humbled at all by this? Question mark, yes or no? Throw it in chat, I'm reading. But let me explain the Gunt picture. Because I think that a lot of people who listen to my streams and who know about Ralph don't particularly understand that at one point I actually liked Ralph. Like, not just as like a haha, I like him as like a joke, but one of my favorite things favorite streams I was ever on was the Kavanaugh hearing. It was 8 hours long. We had like 6,000 people in audience. It was Nora, me, and Ralph. That was it. And it was a good stream, and a lot of people remember it fondly. But then sometime after this, he goes to Knoxville, and he has the famous picture. Oh my God, 94% say no. How many votes on this? 900 votes, 94% say that he's not going to be humbled at all. Well, that's probably accurate. I think that the crowd is speaking here. Truth to power. But we go to this thing, right? It's a nice stream. And then he goes to Knoxville, and the gun picture is taken, and it's really like the beginning of the end, because at the time he had a really popular Discord, and he tried to do like the libertarian like image board thing of, I'm not going to ban people unless they're like doing criminal shit. So there was a group of people that you might have heard of if you follow Ralph at all, called Plate Gang. And they get the name Plate Gang, which sounds very weird, but they get it because they spammed this picture from S4S, which is a 4chan board, shit 4chan says. And it's just a gif of Peter Griffin at Thanksgiving dinner getting a plate full of Thanksgiving dinner food, like peas and a turkey leg and mashed potatoes and gravy. And that's it. They just spam this picture of this plate over and over and over again, to the point where the chat was unusable. So Ralph had to like make a second channel for serious talk that would show up like on his streams and shit, so he could read it. And then he kept like the spam in its own channel. And these people became his arch nemesis, because at a certain point when the Gunt thing happened, they started spamming the Gunt picture, and they started spamming memes of his Gunt, like hundreds of different edits of the Gunt. And they started posting this on the Cow board, which was like a independently operated image board for internet drama, that Ralph would read incessantly, that all the IBS people read incessantly, and they would all post in secret anonymously in their own threads talking about IBS and hyping themselves up. And when the Gunt pictures started happening, he had like a mental breakdown over this, and he started saying like, this is like a coordinated like AstroTurf harassment campaign from like right-wing watch and shit, and it's not real. But it was real people and real fans of his like making fun of him, and he lost like control of everything after this. Like, that was the beginning of the end, was the Gunt picture. And then it went to, then the Hill stream happened, and he lost YouTube, and that was still going strong until the Gunt picture happened, because Knoxville was after he lost YouTube, and that he never recovered. He had like some sort of serious loss of like personal identity from the Gunt, and he's become increasingly more like defensive and mentally ill, and like lashing out at random people undeservedly. Like, his insecurity is built up in layers since then, to the point where it's now what it is, where I'm sure he's just sitting in some fucking bar in Portugal smoking, and some guy gives him shit, and he like steps up to him and literally loses teeth as a result. And that is the character arc of Ethan Ralph. 1,400 votes, 94% say that Ralph will not be humbled by losing his teeth. Yeah, it's there was a thing I learned of recently, where it's an expression from like a movie about like the war in Arabia. I have to look this up now. It's driving me crazy. It's called like Sekarahada or something. Here, Seherazada, and it's like a story where, oh jeez, did I lose my stream? Why does it say reconnecting? Sherazade. Reconnections. I'll give everyone a second. I'll use this time intelligently to look up what the story is, where it comes from. Okay, it's from 1001 Nights, and the story of Seherazada is that he gets married every night, and then he kills the wife after, like, the next day, and marries again. So he's only married for one day. So Seherazada tricks him into not killing her by telling a story that's so enchanting that he has to hear the end of it, and she just keeps adding more and more onto it, and that's how she avoids being put to death by the king. And this is Ralph. Ralph died years ago. He was supposed to die in Knoxville. He like fell on his face drunk or something. He was strangled by the hooker, but unfortunately, God is betwixt. What's the word for it? He has been convinced by Ralph, a modern day Seherazada, to tolerate him and his insanity, because the story of the Gunt must go on. And that's my take on that. He'll live forever, even though his heart's about to give out, even though he's like an alcoholic with like. Oh, speaking of, by the way, bewitched. That's right. Thank you, chat. Thank you for reminding me what words in my language are like. He made this tweet, which is just amazing. They are not stingy with painkillers here in Portugal. Well, great. Let's add opiate addict on top. Like, there's no fucking way. He's going to get the juice. The only way that he does not develop an opiate addiction from this stint in the hospital is if the like Europeans are not like the doctors in the U.S. They will withhold painkillers from you for your own good, so that you do not develop an addiction. So it depends on how annoying he is to the doctors. If they decide this guy is not worth it, he's a retard American, just give him everything he wants until he goes home, then he's somebody else's problem. Then he'll probably get like an opiate addiction on top of everything. However, if the doctors hold the line and say, no, sir, we're not giving you any more painkillers, then I guess he's just fucked. I mean, they're going to bill him, but how do they enforce? What mechanism do they use to collect that money? He doesn't live in Portugal. He doesn't have insurance. Or the U.S. Are they going to like hurt his credit line? What credit line? You know, he doesn't pay his debts. He doesn't have a credit score. That's why he has to buy Nissans that give him predatory loans at a high interest rate. You know, they can go through the IRS. I doubt that. I really doubt that. International debt collectors. I am telling you right now, chat, the motherfucker is not going to pay a dime. He might leave like a $20 tip to like the Portuguese nurse that he's been sexually harassing, but that's it. This motherfucker is not paying the good people of Portugal a single red cent of their hard-earned tax dollars. Mark my fucking words. Not happening. Collect his debt. Maybe. Did I miss anything? I'll read chat for a second. Did I miss anything? I think I've covered the bases of Ralph. Literally losing an unlosable gambit. I'm gonna go to Portugal and have a vacation to own Andy Worski. Oh no, I've been mugged and my man purse is now being bid on by trolls. How did this happen? How did I fuck this up? New tweet. I thought I looked at that. I looked at that already, didn't I? I've been in this game for a long time, lol. I fully realize many would celebrate. It just proves everything I've ever said about them correct. Don't try to moralize. They do. I don't try to moral. Oh my fuck. He's so silly. He's so silly. Like, wasn't this guy just celebrating like Andy Worski's abortion like the last week? He does try to moralize. It's so silly. Like, there's a thing where people in like the forum will like track him being hypocritical, and it's just like everything he says is hypocritical. It's literally like a skill that he's developed over time. It used to be that he wasn't so full of shit all the time, but I've noticed since between like Knoxville and now, he has actively practiced this skill of always just being full of shit because his fans will not call him on it ever. So I don't know. Like, I find it mentally exhausting to try and like say like, oh, he's being hypocritical for this reason, because he always is basically. So, get well soon, Ralph. Don't die on me. I've got many more years of entertainment on my contract. If you die now, I will be gypped. Gun, will he ever openly diss Jim? No. Like, nothing that Jim said was like mean spirited. You know what I mean? He's just making fun. Like, he's making fun of everyone, kind of. So I don't think that Ralph will do anything besides risk getting on Jim's shit list. He will accept any kind of like passive degradation from him. But he'll never, like, Jim is never like hostile towards him in like a very open and like demeaning way. Like, he never attacks Ralph's wigger dignity. Like, you know what I mean? Like, wiggers have like this weird, like, and black people for that matter, they have like a weird like posturing, and you can't like offend their pride, or they'll chimp out at you. And Medicare never does that. He just kind of like laughs at circumstances when it comes to Ralph. Will May leave him before or after the baby is born? May is retarded. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's very low IQ. She's dumber than I ever thought possible. I have no predictions when it comes to May. I've been wrong about May consistently. My predictions for her have consistently been wrong. So I can't even imagine. She is just too stupid to figure out. As a Negro, I have no pride. Thank you, anime boyfriend, for that insight. Even that tweet about you beating Ralph with a bat while erect. No, because Ralph's going to see that and be like, oh, he's making fun of my arch nemesis, my blood rival here. In equal measure. He's not, I'm telling you, there's no beef, there's no feud, there's no conflict. Don't worry about it. Be happy that Internet Daddy is commenting it all. And with that, anti-work. This was going to be the big thing before Ralph decided to get his fucking teeth smashed. I'm going to watch this interview with you guys for the first time. I've seen a little bit of it, but it's 3 minutes long. And and I did not watch it all the way through. So we're actually going to take a peek. We're gonna watch this together, chat, all the way through. I'm not good at cringe. I'm very bad at handling cringe, which may surprise people, but okay. So to give you the gist, a rundown, there is a board on Reddit called Anti-Work, believe it or not, and Anti-Work is what used to be a board dedicated to like penny pinching and making money through odd jobs, but over time it became like an anti-capitalist, like I don't even know what to call it. It's basically like anti-capitalist in the U.S. But more, that's not even fair. It's like it's split down the middle. It's one part is anti-capitalist and the other part is work reform. They are people who work long hours. They have no benefits. They're treated like shit by their managers, and they believe that they should be treated better. And the other half is like retards who don't believe that work as a concept should exist and everything should be paid for by billionaires who get their surplus from thin air. So they held a poll. And they said, we have been contacted by Fox News. And Fox News would like to talk to someone to represent our movement on Jesse Waters. And they held a poll, and the proletariat of the anti-work board said, don't send anyone. Are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking stupid? Do not send anyone to talk to Fox News. They are going to assassinate you at best. Like, that's it. So the Janny Trannies of the anti-work board said, actually, I have a degree in political science. I have been active in politics for 8 years as I've ran this anti-work board, and I'm going to go take Fox News head on, and this is the results of it.
Over 1.6 million subscribers. Joining me now is the person who operates this anti-work group, Doreen Ford. All right, so Doreen, why do you like the idea of being home, not working, but still getting paid by corporate America?
Yeah, so there's some misconceptions about the movement. So we're a movement where we want to reduce the amount of work that people feel like they're forced to do. And so we want to still put in effort, we want to put in labor, but we don't want to necessarily be in a position where we feel trapped. You just quoted from Office Space, where that person feels very trapped in their job. I think we're...
So, just notice already that this guy is obviously a man in lipstick. He looks terrible. He's in his shitty little room in bad lighting with a bad webcam, and he can't even look into the camera. Like, he's too autistic to look into the camera. Jesse Waters has, like, this unbroken gaze staring him directly down, and the Janny tranny is just like frozen, looking aside in shame. So I don't know how this person ever thought that he would have the capacity to like make a good impression on old people watching Fox News. Like, what? Why did this person think that he was the woman for the job? Right? Why?
Calling for a society where there's less of that. But yeah, absolutely, people still want to do things. They just want to do things where they feel rewarded and they feel like they're in a good spot in their life, and that their job respects them and stuff like that. There's varying.
So Doreen, but you're not being forced to work. This isn't slave labor. You've applied for a job. You've agreed to the terms and conditions of the employment, and you can walk away from that job at any time and quit. So I don't understand really what this is about, except it sounds like maybe people are just being lazy. Are you encouraging people to be lazy?
So I think laziness is a virtue in a society where people constantly want you to be productive 24/7.
Laziness is a virtue. That's profound. Yes, our movement is about being lazy. That's like, okay, I get that what he's trying to do is like the meme, like are you trying to encourage people to be lazy? And it's like an angry chud on the left hand side, and then it's like the noble anarchist on the right hand side going, yes, laziness is a virtue. Unfortunately, I don't think laziness is a virtue in any society ever. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that there's ever been a religion or culture where laziness, like being a burden on society, has ever been extolled as like a virtue. Maybe in Greece.
And it's good to have rest. That doesn't mean you should be resting all the time or not putting effort into things that you care about. But I think one of the
what do you think is like a good work day? How many hours is a solid work day in your ideal society?
Sure. I mean, I think as much as people want. I mean, I personally work. I have like a 25 hour work weeks, which I think is fairly good. So I would like less work hours.
And what do you do, Doreen?
Why do people keep saying Montenegro? The Montenegrin commandments? There's a maybe that's a racist thing. I think you guys are bullshitting. They're being subtly racist. Waters asks him, what does he do for a living? And he replies,
I'm a dog walker.
He's a dog walker. So he works through an app, basically. And I think he says he works like 20 hours a week, and that's like enough for him.
A dog walker. Okay.
Yes.
And how?
So
how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure, I'm 30.
You're 30. Okay. And is there something you want to do besides being a dog walker? Do you aspire to do anything more than dog walking, or is that kind of your pinnacle?
I've never seen Jesse Waters before because I don't watch fucking cable, but he sounds like the counselor from South Park, dog walker. Okay, do you want to do anything more than be a dog walker? Okay.
I love working with dogs. If I had to do this for the rest of my life, I wouldn't be super complaining. Dogs are wonderful animals. But I would love to teach. I would love to work with people and stuff like that.
What would you teach, Doreen?
Philosophy mostly. Just introduction to philosophy, critical thinking, reason, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I would love to take your class, Doreen. I would just be taking notes the whole time. And you know what? A professor's a very similar schedule than something that you're imagining. I think that actually might work perfectly.
He plays into like so many of the stereotypes that Fox News wants. Like, first of all, they want to portray all socialists as lazy. Boom, right off the bat, laziness is a virtue. And then he's like, okay, well, what do you do? Like, okay, you think that you're like a leader of like a movement. Well, what's your background? I walk dogs. I have no education. I have no aspirations. He does have aspirations. Like, what do you actually do? What are you educated in? And it's like, nothing. I do nothing. And he's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to be a teacher. And that's like strike 3. Oh, this person who does nothing, knows nothing, and thinks laziness is a virtue wants to be in our education system, which is also demonized by Fox News. They really could not find a better like freak to prop up to like strawman their enemies. And the really funny thing about it is that Fox News didn't like intentionally go fishing to find like the biggest retard possible to represent anti-work. Though I mean, I guess if you like, someone was arguing in the thread about it, it's like if you really wanted to argue, like interview people who are frustrated with like the job system, you could just ask nurses and shit. But instead they go to Reddit because they know anyone that Reddit sends them is going to be a retard. But I mean, it's not like they had like a lineup of like 10 candidates and they picked the worst one. They asked the Reddit to send their best, and this is what they got.
For you, listen, I think this might not be the greatest idea, but who am I to judge? To each their own, they say. It's a free country.
Sure.
Not everything's free, but it is a free country. Thank you so much. Sure. We got to run. We got to pay the bills.
It's funny. Someone says that yes, they did. They asked for this guy, but the moderators said otherwise. The moderators said in his defense in the aftermath that this was the person that they decided collectively they would send to Fox News. You know what's sad is that I feel like I could better represent what they want. You know, it wouldn't be necessarily like there's a lot of things that you see on the board and you're just like, yeah, fuck them. Like that's the entire point of like a voluntary system where labor is in demand, is like bosses like, okay, if you, I'm very like for not going to offices. Like if you can work online from home, you should be able to. That should be a thing afforded to most people unless their job requires them there. But it's like managers shouldn't be allowed to treat people like shit. Why would people like some of the stuff you see them posting about, like their managers are telling them and how they talk to them, and the videos of people like freaking out at like low wage staff. It's just like, yeah, fuck that. But then you get people like, we need more immigrants and sex work. Oh, they're anti-work, but they're pro-sex work, which is like hilarious. And I don't understand where these morals get decided. Like, why do the working class have to care about trannies? Why do they have to like care about prostitutes being allowed to whore themselves out on the internet and in real life? Why are they like pro-drug and stuff? It's hard to like ever support people like that because you read the other things that they're in favor of, and it's like, actually, you know what? You're kind of retarded, and I don't want anything to do with you. To be honest with you, all work is sex work. That's a hot take. A 40-hour sex week. So this happens, and of course, people are naturally furious. This is the reaction. NetK2 says needed to look in the camera, and he says I have a tough time with that being autistic. Someone says, I'm curious, did you offer for an interview with the other mods beforehand? Did you all decide you were the best person to represent the subreddit on Fox News? If so, this might have been slightly misguided, no offense. And he says that the interview was given to the mods via mod mail, and they specifically asked for me. Oh, I guess I was wrong. I shared that with other mods, and they all agreed that I was never mind. I shared that with other mods, and they all agreed that I was probably the best to do because I've done other media. Someone replies, why in the holy shit balls would you agree to that? I fucking hate that asshole, but I looked it up, and he chewed you and spit you out. More press for the movement, and they were going to air the segment either way, as far as I know. At least someone was there to contradict the narrative. But he didn't. He contradicted absolutely nothing about what people might think about an anti-work board. He just said, yeah, actually, I agree. Being lazy as fuck is awesome. And I want to teach your kids to be lazy little shits, too, if I can. And I'll teach your dogs to be lazy little shits. I'm not going to walk them. Walking is exploitation of the working class dog. I'm just going to sit that motherfucker on a park bench and take your money, bitch. Like, okay. What I get more from this sub is people wanting to be treated fairly by their employers and not treated like pieces of trash just to make them money. He flat out said it was just a bunch of lazy people that didn't work at all but wanted to get paid. Maybe I'm wrong here, but that's what I see this sub for. He's paid to paint pictures, so I don't doubt that. Mad respect for your courage. So he says, I'm not sure if it's courage or foolishness, but thank you. So the board freaks out. They say that this guy was a retard. This picture on the left is like what they used to, like, if you post on poll, that's what the left thinks that you look like. But he literally looks just like the Chud meme, which is pretty funny. It makes it look like a little bit of projection, maybe. slap fight builds up, and in case you don't know, the user anti-work was like a owner mod of the whole Reddit. So when people start misgendering him because he seriously hurt their entire like shtick, he bans them and says, "I was banned for misgendering, which you just he says, no, banned for misgendering me, which you just did again." He says, "You sucked at your interview." And the person from the interview says, "To summarize a complicated philosophy in seconds on live television with someone you know has the exact opposite ideas from you." They say he did damage. He says that he's lying on TV. Basically, it goes back and forth. And the result of this is the anti-work board goes private. And the reason for this is the moderators of the message changed at different times. It mentioned that they were locking down because so many people were making fun of them that they were getting flooded with like abuse, and they were just closing it for like a couple days. And I think they're already back up. And I'll get to that message that they put out in a second. But it turned out that the Doreen guy is like a rapist, and this is a message that he left on Facebook, saying, I guess clarifying something. I don't know when this was taken. It says yesterday, but it wouldn't make sense if they came out and made this comment. So I don't know if this is real, but I'll read it. The person accusing me of serial rape and I were involved in sexual conduct. The scenario involved alcohol on their part, but I had been informed multiple times that it wasn't a big deal. They said they were only tipsy and that they were consenting to what was happening. I took them at their word, and I'll be more responsible in the future when it comes to alcohol and sex. I'm unaware of who I've allegedly raped besides the person making the accusation. The only person I can think of is my previous partner. I take consent very seriously. I have a list of behaviors related to cuddling that I've been using for over a year. I'm trying my best to be... and this continues, but I think this is another post that they're referring to. A content warning abuse. I wrote this a long time ago in case the situation ever happened, and sadly here it is. I strive to be open and honest. Those who are close to me can verify that I exude those qualities more than any other. It's in the spirit that I make public certain past events within my life. If you feel as though you may not be able to... Whatever. I want to discuss a history I have. This person was with whom had an ongoing sexual relationship and living arrangement, eventually a mix of fundamentally incompatible needs, past trauma unrelated to me, and my issues with impulsive control resulted in a very unhealthy dynamic between us. Due to my dislike of call-out culture, this person will remain anonymous. Avoid contacting this person, blah, blah, blah. I began sporadically masturbating while they slept next to me or by themselves. Even though they stated this made them feel uncomfortable, these events continued to happen until I sought help through therapy. I had woken up one morning with them laying next to me and remembering they felt uncomfortable with me masturbating next to them while they slept. I placed their hand over my boxers. They moved their hand away and thought nothing at what happened and fell back asleep. They later woke up and mentioned to me that they had a nightmare involving those series of events. I admitted that it had happened, apologized, and explained that I was half asleep and not in full control of my actions. Lastly, the previously mentioned coping mechanism resulted in this person creating alarms for us so that we wouldn't fall asleep together, and thus boundary violations would be minimized. Much to my retrospective disgust, my desperation for emotional intimacy led me to shut off the alarms at various points. When I learned how much this harmed this person, I soon went to therapy. Thereafter, I was better able to cope with my impulsive tendencies and thus consistently respect their boundaries. Resulting from my remorse, I made a financial contribution to an organization dedicated to helping people in alternative but abusive relationships. So that means that this is like a trans relationship, probably. There was discussion between me and the individual of helping with therapy costs. However, given my economic status and their insurance covered, we decided against this. It created an unhealthy dynamic as a way to improve myself. My relationship since then has been healthy and mutually beneficial as a result. These events have led me to suffer several symptoms of PTSD, sporadic suicidal ideation, and self-esteem loss. I jerked off next to someone and they got mad at me, and now I have PTSD. If he's cooming and the other guy starts jerking off in the video, he suffers like a PTSD flashback. because it reminds him of the time that he jerked off, or sorry, she jerked off onto an unsuspecting woman in brackets. Throughout my life, I have striven to be a respectful and compassionate person, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 more bullshit. Shaming me in an attempt to show that my actions were wrong is both unproductive and unnecessary, as I'm well aware of my actions and their lack of morality. So that's funny. He's basically, I don't even know, like, I guess that's sexual assault, right? Like, if you're ejaculating on someone, that's sexual assault. This is, by the way, this is the accusation that led to, and I'll prop this up real quick, that led to him making that statement to begin with. Assuming I can get this on my Firefox. I don't know why that downloads the pictures. I want it in my downloads directory. Okay, so referring to Doreen, Abolish Work has a couple of sexual assault rape allegations against her that she admitted on Facebook. That alone is worthy of removal. Adding the fact that she undermined a whole movement and made 1.8 million people look like a total joke, Doreen has no remorse or making the movement look bad and blames her autism for it. Newsflash, maybe an autistic person with very little PR skills should not go on national television claiming to be the leader of a group of almost 2 million people. Maybe an actual qualified person can go on instead. This is a great reply, by the way. A woman committing rape against another woman does not have the power dynamic present to justify calling it sexual assault or rape, especially considering that Doreen is developmentally delayed. She would not have been entirely aware of the situation before her, plus these are just allegations. 0 charges have been filed. She is completely exonerated. Wow, I sure feel bad for this subreddit of intelligent people. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, but if you can't kick the retard trannies out of your fucking movement, then you deserve to work for $7.25 an hour, every hour, 80 hours a week for the rest of your life. That's just how it is. If your movement is made up of retards and you can't do anything about it and you can't get the retards out of your movement, then you don't deserve to win. You deserve to work for nothing for the rest of your life. Like, if these people were just like, what we want is a workplace that pays a fair amount for our labor. We want no immigration or reduced immigration, skill-based immigration. And we don't want trannies. Like, I don't know. I could go for that. It's like if you take the best of socialism and nationalism and kind of blend it together, you got something that's pretty special. But I don't think that they'll ever do that for some reason. My disbelief is suspended when I start thinking about this. And I don't know why. There's just something about it that just seems off. Social nationalism. Yeah, something like that. No, but you can't. It's funny. It's like a thing in our brains. Like, once you start putting the two together, you would think it's peanut butter and jelly, but then you're like, oh, no. That's actually wrong. You either have to be full retard or you're just like a bad person. That's it. There's no middle ground here. Sotnak. Okay, so what they do, by the way, is they make a big thing and they say restructuring in recent events, mega thread, and it's too fucking long. I'm not going to read it. But the gist is that they say, oh no, we made an oopsie doodle. We had a little bit of a fucky wucky and we're going to fix it. So we got rid of you anti-work. And from what I understand, the two people that they got rid of were both the founders of the sub. So they had to like contact Reddit administration and say, hello, the pedophiles at the top. This is a Janny revolution that we're having here, and we kind of need, a coup d'etat. We need to get rid of the other trannies that were running this board because they're problematic and they rape people by jerking off onto unconscious trannies. And they're like, okay, well, we'll take care of that for you. Make sure you pick new mods to replace them so that your board runs fine. And they're like, okay, we do. We got just the person. We got White Pirate 15. Who post on gay incest. I would just be like, so I guess you failed No Nut November. I guess I find that really interesting. I have to think about this some more. Thanks for replying. I'm new to this whole incest thing, but I can't imagine walking in on my parents having sex, let alone them walking in on me. How public? Like, will you be in a park trailer or what? And I think that one of them posts in like the bestiality sub. And the really awesome thing about... I think I have another pic. No, I do not. One of the people who came back, who were moderated, is like a brand new account. So I think if you go to the Reddit right now and you look at like top from this week, one of the top tweets is just like a meme about how their new moderators are the same fucking people, but with brand new accounts so that nobody gets mad. So basically, these people got a little microcosm of the communism that they wanted. They started a revolution because they have, no, other way around. A bunch of retarded, mentally ill degenerates laid the groundwork for this thing. And then people with actual grievances attached to it, they got power. And then because of their retards in the administration that they put above them, it all collapsed in a very short amount of time. And now they're worse off than they were before because every boomer who just saw that segment thinks, actually, these people don't deserve any rights or any money whatsoever. Oh, I can't believe I forgot this. I knew I should have had this. This is what I was thinking of. I'm sorry. One of the mods that they promoted is a moderator for R-Rape, which is like a sexual assault survivor thing, but chances are that they're like a tranny, and they're there because they want to they want to get closer to women who have been like sexually victimized, so that they can be weird towards them, because that's what they all do. They all want to. It's a scheme. It is a scheme by straight men to lure women into a false sense of security so that they can fuck with them. So this person is from Our Secret Subject Hypnosis. Welcome to the community page for the secret subject, a professional femdom from New Zealand. The secret subject knows the right buttons to push to get you into trance and into her control. This is the place for real erotic hypnosis, BDSM, ASMR, and technique, and created to transcend you to new depths and exploring kink. What can I say? Like what you like proudly. I love pain. Monica got turned into a step forward bimbo. Am I a lesbian? Master Doc. Hypno community. I am the top mod for R-Rape. And a mod for Contra points. Oh no. The well is so deep. They go from face eating to lap cats when you know how to deal with them. They just kind of give up trying to hate you and realize that, yes, they do love pets. Okay, whatever. Good luck with your movement, retards. You could have avoided this by not using Reddit. I don't know. I mean, look, what do you do? Okay, you're like Joe Blow, and you get paid $8 an hour. I recently got a notification from one of the services I rely on that they're charging more for my VPSs because inflation's too high. And they're in Europe, where inflation isn't as bad. So it's like, okay, so inflation is driving up the price of everything. People can't afford homes. You get less than 40 hours a week, so you get no benefits whatsoever. And even though there's like a labor shortage, it's only because the government is paying people to stay at home. And they're going to continue importing immigrants to replace you. And you can't criticize immigrants because then you would be branded as a xenophobe Trump supporter. And you can't criticize women in the workforce because women need to work because they need financial independence because a single man cannot afford to support a family anymore. Like, what do you do? They go, okay, we'll go online and we'll unionize and shit. And then it's like, oh, my community is ran by fucking freaks. And now everyone's making fun of me. And I guess I'll just die. Sucks. I'm very thankful that I don't have to do any of this. Though I don't know, if like the forum closes because the government decides to explode it with a bomb or something, then I'm going to have to like enter the workforce, and the workforce for me is like development. I don't know if I can keep my fucking mouth shut anymore. I can't imagine being in like a Skype call with like trannies and it's like, hello, my name is Doreen. I am the senior developer. I'm the JavaScript developer for our company. I take my job very seriously, and I want to make it clear that transphobia is not allowed. And if you are transphobic, you will be fired on the spot. I was like, oh. No, thank you. And people are in that situation. They just have to put up with this shit. Some people choose it, such as some people choose the shit they deal with, chat, such as Chantel. Chantel, I mentioned her last stream because she was never, ever getting back together with Nadir, and surprise, she had a mental breakdown where she shaves her fucking head on live stream, and she's talking about how she's totally done with Nader, and now that she had the CPAP episode where she went to his house and the police got called and he had to return the CPAP, she was totally done. Don't you guys worry. Pappy is safe and secure. She's just going to get a new mask and cord, and everything's going to be fine, and she's going to find the nice young Brazilian man of her dreams who'll treat her right for real. Didn't happen. They've already gotten back together. This is her completely shaved, by the way. It's really just something. She just goes straight. She just takes a fucking trimmer straight to it, and it's just like, bye hair. I'm done with you. And now she's wearing a wig. And then after this shit in that episode, and everyone's like, are you okay? Are you gonna like kill yourself because you're like shaving your head bald? You're kind of having like a Britney Spears. On the 27th, so yesterday. And this shit happens. Where is it? It's like a... Look at how red her face is. Because what happened is Nadir was streaming, and then she was like, then he's like, he accidentally turns on the stream, and she walks in, and he's streaming, and everyone's like, holy fuck, there's Chantel. She's back at his house, even though they had this huge like breakdown where she's like shaving her head, and the cops are called, and she's totally done with him for fucking ever. And I don't know the exact time span, but I have to show you something to round this off. By the way, she didn't respond to me on Instagram, so I guess we're not getting my interview, which I really want
to die right now.
Because people keep telling me, if you hide your hair since she come from Montreal, here, she came here, I'm not hiding this, I'm not gonna hide from nobody. This
can
was
you turn
happening.
this light off of that?
I'm not gonna do anything, just sit down.
No, it's right in the freaking view.
This is how I set my thing. It's not like you come here to change it.
I'll let it play for a bit, because he starts like actively humiliating her. You see how embarrassed she is, because everyone's making fun of her, because she's like, there's no proof that I'm going over to his house.
Well, this is...
I was trying this... Okay, you want to finish first? Say what you're here for, because I need to
came
cook.
to apologize for what happened over the last week. I was being unreasonable and freaked out because I was jealous. Dee.
This is my friend. Why is that for? And what it's Chantal. You need to know is you keep talking like you are in a relationship. We're in a relationship. What is Christmas? What is New Year? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm not playing with people. I'm saying off in. I know it's too bad. She was not trying to show or lie, guys. Please, I'm saying I'm not gonna lie. Because people think was a lot yesterday, a lot of shit. I don't know what you did. What live stream? A lot of shit. Like people think you was here.
It's like unbelievably, indescribably embarrassing that she shaves her head mid meltdown and then like sneaks back over. Do I ever reach out? Yes, I do. And immediately like I don't know, she like kowtows to him. She like defenestrates herself in front of him and is like, oh yeah, okay, I came to apologize because I realized everything is my fault and I'm just so terribly sorry that I was jealous and everything is my fault. And now they've already broken back up. because she's mad at him, and she's not even mad at him for like this. She's mad at him for like different stupid fucking reasons. And it's just like, this woman would die. She would literally die if she did not have this man like humiliating her. Like, this is all she gets up for in the morning. And meanwhile, poor Pete's back in the cuck shed dressing up as Ramona, thinking like, oh, the assholes get all the women and leave me none to choose from. And I'm a nice guy, and I respect women, and I believe women, and this fucking asshole who doesn't even speak English like humiliates her, and that's what she wants. Poor Pete's. Poor Pete's. I'm frustrated that she didn't reply to my message, because it's just like, I just want to like pick her psyche. I want to know, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you allowing this to happen to yourself? I only have my theory that she just like is bored without the drama. You know what I mean? She needs it to be like awake. Big ups. He joined the forum too, Wings007. I give someone a shout out, they start showing up on my stream. Borderline personality disorder, probably. Drama horror, yeah. I mean, yeah. And I think about like what she was like before she met this guy, and in the time between BB divorcing her or whatever the fuck, I don't know if they're ever married, and meeting Nadir, she literally just smoked CBD all the time and stayed like completely like greened out, live streaming, going like, "Hey guys, I'm going to go bees. I'm going to order McDonald's." And that was it. That was like her entire life, every fucking day, without like any interruption or diversity. And then suddenly this random Arab man comes, and she can't go back. She can't go back to being like high all the time. It'd be like, I can't save her. Though I don't know. I would like some clarity. I just think if we had a conversation would be interesting for people listening, because I think that she doesn't really ever answer super critical questions. You literally can't. I don't want to. I literally do not want to fix Chantel. Like, and you can't fix people. Like, you can't fix anyone who doesn't want like help. If someone wants help, you can help them. But Chantel is not. Like I said, she does not want help. She wants to be abused by Arabs. That's her bar now. And if Nadir left her for real, she would find someone else who's like abusive white trash. I think that's it. I would hate for this stream to be so short, because everything, so much happened this week. But like I said, when I have my stuff laid out in front of me, I go through it a lot faster. The only thing else that's kind of weird is this Dalberg guy. I didn't even really make any notes for it, because it's just kind of like, I don't have a frame of reference for this, but basically there's this guy called Sky Does Minecraft, which, let me pull up this video. He's kind of famous because of this song.
Totally unbeknownst to me, when you play Minecraft.
So it's like this super well-produced video set to Coldplay's Paradise by Sky Does Everything. 11 million subscribers, holy shit, and 88 million views on this. And it's from 2013, when Minecraft was like at its peak. And it's kind of weird, like, he's basically being canceled. He had a thing where he had a falling out with his ex-wife or whatever, who is baby mama. And now baby mama number 2 is canceling him and calling him like an abusive piece of shit and posting these chat logs where he's just acting like a fucking weirdo and like spamming her with dinosaur emojis and shit when she's asking him to take things seriously because she's having like a breakdown. He got arrested at some point too. And then there's like this weird, let me buffer these videos real quick so that when I go to play them, it'll actually work. But like I'm reading the comments for this, and they're kind of funny because this is an 9-year-old video. Well, 8, closer to 8 than 9 at this point. It's November 2013, but it's like all these kids who are like, it hurts listening to this masterpiece. Just thinking of how so many things changed. You were all our heroes. You gave us laughter, sadness, and now you gave us anger. We loved you so much, but you had to change it. Thank you for everything, for all the shit that we've been through, all the adventures you gave us. Even if you did something horrible, I can never forgive you. Out of us, but we can still say thank you. So for my last words for you, Sky, good luck and thank you for everything. So it's like all these kids who are like now teenagers, like, oh no, my favorite YouTuber is like a fucking weirdo sex pest. I'm so sad. It would be like, what if like the dinosaur emojis? It would be like, I don't know. I can't think of anyone that I'm very sentimental to. I was kind of sad when the guy that made the music for RuneScape was like a convicted pedophile in the UK. That's kind of sad. I didn't really have any like idols as a teenager though. The closest thing to that would be like K-Flay moved out to Los Angeles and is now like a weird lesbian who became like political and released like shitty like fuck Donald Trump songs and stuff. I was like, yeah, that's kind of fucking cringe, but I don't know, she's like a musician. You just know her from her songs. You don't like watch her videos. These kids watch like hundreds of hours of this guy playing Minecraft. I guess it's a little bit different for that. K-Flay's on Suicide Squad, don't remind me. I'm going to miss you, Sky. What you did was truly disappointing. You were the best YouTuber to grow up with, and to learn what you've done is heartbreaking. I will always remember you, Sky. But Adam, I'm disappointed, and I hope you get what you deserve. Rip. There was one that said something like, this one. I'm getting ready to go to college, and this man was one of the most influential people that early me had. It's crazy. I owe this man so much, so I come back to his videos now and then hoping I can earn him a little more revenue. So 1 month, that's before these accusations came out. So he was listening to the song as like a 10-year-old and being like, hell yeah, I love Minecraft. And now he's going to college and he just heard out this guy that means so much to him as of a month ago, where he's thinking about him before he goes off to college. He's a horrific sex pest. Let me see if those videos are ready that I can play them now. And this kind of reminds me of Smorky, by the way.
She's just sitting here screaming just because I asked her to send me back $100. Like, $200 actually, $222. And now she's screaming at me uncontrollably. Albert's just like fucking knocked out. He's like sleeping, big chilling, but she's just screaming at me.
The thing is that he has these kids with different women, and with her in particular, he's like a millionaire from Minecraft, but he refuses to pay any child support. So he asked this woman who's raising his child, who doesn't have any like paternal support from him whatsoever, and apparently he bought something for her, and he's asking for that money back from this destitute woman who's raising her son. And he's just like completely disaffected by it, and that's like the gist with all these like screen caps, is you can kind of see that he just doesn't give a shit. He's sending these really like stupid messages as if it's like a joke. Read the PDF. It has a schizo behavior in it. This is really too long. Didn't read though. This is like fucking massive, and the resolution is shit. If I was more well prepared, but unfortunately I was too busy making sure I got all the gun stuff done. Okay, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll read random paragraphs that look interesting from all 3 pages. That'll be my thing. Start here, halfway through. You bitched at me for not being able to move a washing machine that weighed 200 pounds while I was pregnant. You broke our new washing machine. I asked you for your help, and you threw a tantrum. Started calling me stupid, saying I can't do anything right. It was never broken. It just needed reset. I felt numb and sat on the floor. I wanted to end my life because all you made me feel was, you're not good enough. You can't do anything right. I was never allowed to stand up for myself. If I had an anxiety attack, you'd call me a baby and degrade me. Yet you would get emotional and expect everyone to bow down for you at your feet and support you on a gold platter. Even when mentally stable, you knew how to help yourself. You knew abusing drugs could make you go into permanent psychosis. By the way, I think he has schizophrenia, and that's what's what happened. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, everyone says that women should start having babies as soon as they turn like 12 or whatever. If you talk to like wignats, they start saying we gotta abolish women's rights and start breeding 12-year-olds because that's when they're the most fertile. We need to make sure that scrotes do not reproduce before they turn 28, because if you have a baby and you're turning schizophrenic in like 3 years, that shit ain't no fucking good. Okay, we need rules on this too. We need to say men are not allowed to reproduce until after they're 27, because otherwise they're gonna start pumping out fucking like crazy kids. Clipping this out of context. Good luck. Don't be careful. You start clipping me out of context, I'm gonna earn a lot more fans with the wignets. I would ask you not to smoke near me or in the house to keep the baby safe, and you'd bitch at me saying it's your house. I should have left. Skip ahead a bit. Damn, bitch, have you heard of a paragraph? That is not the first time you've done... Oh, wait. You have also assaulted and sexually harassed sexual women, even paid them off with hundreds of thousands of dollars just to protect your perfect image. You paid a girl to keep quiet years ago because you almost got her pregnant and you didn't care. You sent nudes to a young girls. You never asked for age because you don't care. If they walked, you talked. That's not the first time you've done things. You'd be surprised what I've seen and found. You are extremely unfaithful. As soon as I left, you fucked my best friend, who I considered to be like a sister. Over the years, you failed to acknowledge how you pay young girls money for their attention and time. Cheating is gross. Elisa loved you and would... Loved you, and you would cheat, manipulate, and lie when she defends herself. You tried cheating on me with a fucking artificial intelligence Twitter account. You would tell me how she's the only one that understood you. You would wake people up in the middle of the night to talk about this AI. Come February, you started acting weird. You stopped sleeping normally, stopped eating normally, got more and more mean, got more angry and verbally abusive. Started breaking shit, throwing things, pulling stuff off the walls, and screaming at ants. You started calling Albert Elon Musk, the dog, and forcing him to drink Gatorade and eat candy. You'd lock Albert in the kennel and scream at him. It was freezing cold outside. And you let him outside. He got lost, nearly froze to death. He was shivering. You did that several times. You jump in and out of windows. You'd scatter food over the counters and the floors. That's when some people reached back and out and told me the truth. Elisa reached out and I broke down. You started clogging the drains, knowing how deep into the pregnancy I was and how bad I need access to the restroom. I'd have to waddle to the store late at night just to use the restroom. Tears on my face and my hair a mess because you wouldn't let me shower. You'd constantly tell me how I'm going to be a bad mother because I couldn't do some fast enough for your standards. You would scream at me to leave, and then when you would grab me speaking nonsense. Harass people on Discord, spam people in the middle of the night. You'd speak in tongues and blast music. You'd leave doors open while it's a blizzard. You dragged my dog by his throat and threw him into a kennel, surrounded him with mirrors because he was nervous. He never liked you deep down. You tried getting in my face by man next to my dog would intervene and bite and protect me and baby. You kept talking about anti-venom, saying how much you hated him, yet... Oh, Ant Venom. That's a person's name, I guess. A capital letter would help there. Saying how much you hated him, yet when you were screaming nonsense to him on Discord, I had to snag the phone. He was so humble and so kind. You have a history of putting your son at risk when you get upset. You ended up randomly punching the big amethyst you have from being frustrated and cutting a gash into your knuckle. You came up to me and I continuously tried to clean and bandage it while our friends tried to keep you calm. You started putting blood on my face and on my arms. You started painting on the walls with your blood. You leave blood marks on our lizard tanks and our bathroom walls as well as all the mirrors. You elbowed my belly several times. I was just trying to love you. Jesus. You called me disgusting names, saying racist comments as well as the N-word, trying to fight off Steph. Well, now he's crossed the line. I stood up and the social worker hugged me and I bawled my eyes out. Security took over again. This is her at the hospital, I guess, giving birth. You got home from being released and just got worse and worse, became violent. You were medicated and stopped taking them. I had to call the police in fear. You continued to force me not to sleep. I'd make food for myself and you'd take it from me and throw it away. Wow. I tell you, I felt sick and was worried about the baby and you'd laugh it off. He would force her not to sleep. Why would you not just leave? Women are weird. Someone said, Josh, you don't get to eat today. I'd be like, bye, bitch. I'd be out of there. Good luck with that. You're not going to tell me that today is not pizza day. I have fought hard for my pizza day. I have fought and I've lost fans. I've lost acquaintances. I've lost my gay best friend over pizza day. You are not going to tell me that today is not pizza day if it is in fact actually pizza day, okay? You understand this. That is the rule. You were hospitalized again for weeks. More spam calls to me, more harassment and threats, Gucci. I want more funny stories. You continue to get worse. Update. I'm losing weight again. I'm down like 2 pounds from the start of the year. You kept me awake and from eating. You already said this. You purposely blew all our money and we were broke. Nearly $7,000 negative in debt. You spent all I had left on candy, drugs, and things I couldn't eat. I ended up screaming, I want my mom. I am a full-grown adult. Then I screamed, help me, please. And you threw things at me and hurt my dogs. I gave birth far away from you 2 months later, and so thankful I did. The labor and delivery unit were going to send the hospital into lockdown if you show up. Your whole family agreed with my decisions. They told me so many times. I had a girl. I guess that's it. There's no more funny stories of him being a schizo freak. I can't show you the video where he's like jerking off. He's like getting a blowjob from a woman, and he's like, haha, I'm getting a blowjob while you're complaining to me on Instagram or whatever. So he sent her like audio of it. And this is like a video of him feeding the dog Gatorade. So that's the update on this guy. If only they knew, chat. In a mere 8 years, all their Minecraft dreams would turn to a schizo, feeding a dog Gatorade and withholding food from a pregnant woman.
There were animals all across the land.
That's why, chat, you never trust a Minecraft YouTuber. There's something wrong with all of them. I can't name a single Minecraft YouTuber who isn't fucking nuts. Can you, chat? You're late and gay. Gatorade? Show the video of the dog? He doesn't. I thought he got force-fed Gatorade. The dog's probably feeling better in there because he's not at risk, at imminent risk. The schizo's on the other side of the bars. Save Albert. Okay. Did I miss anything? Chat, did I miss anything? Gunt silver coins win? Never. Fuck that. I'll put Chantel on a coin before I put Ralph on anything. Putting Ralph on a coin implies that he has some value. He does not. Talk about Boogie getting his ass kicked. When was this? I mean, if Boogie got his ass kicked, nobody fucking added me about it. Do you mean Ralph? Do you mean Ethan Ralph getting his ass kicked? That happened. I think you're confusing the two, sir. Boogie died? Oh no. I'm actually looking this up. If I have heard, if this is not true, I'm gonna be pissed. think you're lying. I think, by the way, I think my favorite edit of all the Ralph ones, I showed a bunch of them on screen during the intro video. Wait, did this just happen? No. No, this is bullshit. You've lied to me. Here, okay. This is, there's a couple edits that I really like. I like this one where it's my dog punching Ralph. Look at that. Look at that gunt. Look at that puppy. It's a very Chad picture. I look good in this one. Someone made an edit of Ralph in the Laura Kate Dale tweet where he's like, I have a vagina. Where's the one of, I don't know. Is this it? Yes, it is. It doesn't thumbnail correctly for some reason. This one, where he's Nikocado Avocado. It's such a, he looks so much like Nikocado now that his face has been bashed in. I leaked fire noodle sauce poopy on the dentist chair. My ass stings and the room smells. I'm hiding in the bathroom. I'm mortified. And it just fits. It's like a Lego. It just clicks on so perfectly. Like it was meant to be, chat. Only other little bullshit thing I can think of is that someone tried to get Joe Rogan kicked off of, Oh, Ralph says that he's contacting the police. Okay. He wants that man purse back. That was a $900 Giorgino Armani man purse, and I want my purse back. Torba alienating Gab. Dude, Torba's an idiot. I've said this before. Gab is retarded. Nick Fuentes is retarded. Like, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about Gab. I really hate Torba. He's just such a fucking idiot, and he's so full of himself. He's someone who needs to get his ass kicked. I hope he goes to Portugal soon. That fat motherfucker, Andrew Torba, went on, like in the early days of Gab, who was like, we might have to take Gab over to the Netherlands where it's actually free speech, guys. And it's like, no, if you take your dumbass to the Netherlands, you're going to fucking lose all your hardware because they're going to seize them because it's hate speech and neo-Nazi shit. And you either have to make a choice between that or hosting in the EU. Glow Fed, yeah, basically. Just join the Fediverse. He says that he doesn't want to join the Fediverse because of porn, but the real reason is that when he was on the Fediverse, anime avatars bullied him until he cried, and then he defederated in like one day. Sneed Furrow update. Attachments. Actually, you know what? I might be able to show you guys some progress. Just a little bit. I'm not making as much as I would like. I've been taking it kind of easy, but... Here. 1 second. Okay, I managed to get a bunch of stuff related to attachments to work so that you can set avatars and stuff. So my user account Sneed has an account. Attachments work. So I've managed to get like this image embedded, and this was the first image that I managed to actually get to work directly from the upload form. And it threads correctly, so it's like when you delete a post, the order of the post updates correctly and stuff. This should it doesn't have the correct disposition, but the uploads do work and they deduplicate, so you can upload the same image over and over again. They won't take up any more disk space than they used to. So this should work, yeah, and it shows the avatar and stuff, which is nice. One of the things I want, and see how fast it is, and this is without it being rendered in production. This is like, it's like 7 milliseconds to load the whole page. I know people are like, oh, well, it doesn't do as much. Well, it's like 200, it's like 2 milliseconds. We have to measure it in microseconds. So if you do it in production, when you compile without debugging code, but when you look at what a similar thing is on Zenforo, it's like 200 milliseconds, and that's just because of how slow the templating engine is. But the templating on this is like wicked fast, so I'm happy about it, chat. I'm happy, though it's just taking a while because it's just a couple people helping me out, and I do it when I feel motivated to. NFT update, no update. I'm not doing too much with that right now. I don't know if I will because the market's like crashed and shit. So. And it already feels like people have exploited it enough where I don't know if it'll be worthwhile. published the code already, email me, jcmoon@pm.me. If you know Rust, email me, and I'll let you in. It's just not ready for like mass contributions from like a bunch of people yet. All right, is Nick Fuentes still gay? Actually, I'm so glad you mentioned that. There's one more thing I could show you that I didn't even think about until right now, but it's on the front page. So, did I show you guys this? So the good folks at Right Wing Watch clipped this of Nick Fuentes reacting to a woman hitting on him. This is, and I get he's trying to be funny, so don't you fucking come at me and be like, no, bro, it's like a joke. It's like post-ironic, like humor. You wouldn't understand. He's like being silly. Like, I'm sorry, but if this is a joke, this is like a bad joke to make because everyone just thinks that you're a faggot.
What part of what you know about me would make you think that I would want to be propositioned by a woman? Much less in the super chats, no less. What part of you, or what part of me would make you think that I would want a girl to say, to ask me out on a date? I'm not going to be asked out. I will do the asking out. You know, people look at me and they think like, oh, he's like this Alex P. Keaton, like, goody two-shoes, wholesome Chungus 10,000. It's like, nah, I'm a little bit more complicated than like wanting a girl in a sundress to just lay my suits out and I wear a fedora and smoke a pipe and go, hey, honey, we're LARPing like it's the 1950s. Like, that's just so insulting. I have a little bit, it's called depth, okay? It's called depth. I have a little bit more depth to my character than just I'm some kind of like sitcom character. I'm sort of playing an important role in world history here, and the idea that, you know, some silly girl online, like I'm going to be in direct messages just sort of being like funny and flirty and fun. It's not me. It's just not going to happen. Like I said, I'm trying to think of a scenario where it would be acceptable, because some people say, oh, well, that means you're gay. And it's like, well, no, because it's not that, it's more the setting there. Because there's a few scenarios where it would be acceptable. Like I said, you know, if it was a girl who was working for me, you know, like Hitler in that movie Downfall, when he's like interviewing secretaries, like that's a setting where it like makes a little bit more sense.
But why? Why is it better to hit on women who are working for you? That's a dumber way to hit on women. I agree. I agree on the principle that like you shouldn't just like chat up women who are like fans of your show. It's a good way to like fuck up everything. But the way he reacts is just like, it's not like, oh, I don't want to like flirt with my fans, because that seems like a dumb idea. It's like, ew, a girl. Just reiterating that, like, why would I talk to a girl? Oh my god. Even Hitler had girlfriends. Though I dare not repeat this. It may be Jewish propaganda, and everyone in chat will get mad at me. But last I heard, I looked up actually if Hitler ever killed anyone, which seems like a weird question. If you ask people, did Hitler kill anyone? They'd be like, yes, the 6 million goyim. But I was like, no, did he ever like personally have someone killed, not related to like running the country of Germany? And as it turns out, there is a story. And this may be fake. This may be the Lugan Press. Who knows, right? Where he was infatuated with his cousin, and she realized that he was obsessed with her, and she fled the country to Rome, and he had the SS like tail her, and she died. And I can't remember how she died, but it was basically directly related to Hitler, and they think that he had her killed. And I think they also said that he was into poo play, and he wanted to have pee-pee poo-poo sex with his cousin. Now, this could be fake. There are many stories that came out after the war, which have become common knowledge, which may or may not be real. So I have to be careful with reiterating these things, but it is a funny story, so I figured I would throw that out there. Pee-pee poo-poo, it is wrong. Jewish cope sounds like cap. No, that was Mozart. Oh, you know those Austrians are all the same. Was Mozart Austrian? Mozart was Austrian, wasn't he? Is Mozart Austrian? Austrian composer. Fuck yes. Yes! Got it right, motherfuckers. You know who wasn't Austrian was Einstein. There's a saying that's like the greatest trick the Austrians ever played was convincing everyone that Hitler was German and Einstein was Austrian. Okay, I'm done with the stream. I have a song that someone requested that I play. I don't want to run on too long here. I appreciate you watching this. Oh, I do have this clip to play. I have a little clippy clip. I forgot that he screams at the end. Okay, now I have a Portuguese song because I played that Tropa de Elite thing, which is a Brazilian song, and I made a joke that it's like basically Portugal. So, haha. The joke is that fuck Portugal, right? So someone said I have to make amends and I have to play an actual Portuguese song, and I happen to have one that someone sent me. So that's the outro song. I will see you guys on Friday. Bye.
Se Deus quiser, há de brilhar de novo a coroa sobre as luzes das armas, que a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar, que a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar. É tempo de vontade e sacrifício para a alma portuguesa renascer, e em nossos corações o nobre ofício da história deste reino reescrever. Deus, pátria, rei, fidelidade àquele que entre nós é o primeiro. Deus, pátria, rei, fidelidade ao chefe natural e verdadeiro. Se Deus quiser, há de brilhar de novo a coroa sobre as luzes das armas, e a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar, que a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar. Que a fé que nos uniu e que nos move, que levamos através do mundo inteiro, não nos falte num momento derradeiro, que a todos os portugueses nos comove. Juntemo-nos de novo sob a coroa do chefe da nossa casa real, ouvindo o povo alegre que apregoa ontem, hoje e sempre Portugal. Se Deus quiser, há de brilhar de novo a coroa sobre as luzes das armas, que a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar, que a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar. No passado mergulhar fundo as raízes, no sangue antigo e nobre dos avós, na pátria que foi berço de países que chamam Portugal da mesma voz. Juntemo-nos de novo sob a coroa do chefe da nossa casa real, ouvindo o povo alegre que apregoa ontem, hoje e sempre Portugal. Se Deus quiser, há de brilhar de novo a coroa sobre as luzes das armas, que a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar, que a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar. Se Deus quiser, há de brilhar de novo a coroa sobre as luzes das armas, que a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar, que a nossa pátria soube sempre honrar. Se Deus quiser, há de brilhar